Hello, this is my second Yiddish class and about my 10th take. First, an update. The blues composition that we have been preparing to perform, my wife and I, Run Out of Blues, is going to be recorded this week. However, a change in the plan is in order since I've been trying to regain my command of the harmonica for the riffs of the blues number, and I wasn't any great shakes to begin with. After over a week of practicing, I am still no John Popper, but that's no disgrace. John Popper is to harmonica what Beethoven is to symphonic compositions and piano. I set my sights too high, but will perform the number nonetheless with a kazoo in lieu of a harmonica. If one day I get good enough on a harmonica to play blues riffs on it, we'll re-record it then. Unlikely, but anyway, the show must go on. So here is today's lesson. Last week I showed you how to conjugate a couple of verbs, basic verbs. Gehen, to go, lelechet, and essen, to eat, leechol. And now I've just shown you all there is to know about the infinitive form. You just add a n sound at the end, and there you are. So, let me give you some more regular verbs. There's, in addition to gehen and essen, laufen, to run, larutz, and then joggen, which means to chase, lirdof, and then finally, trinken, to drink, lishtot. And now an irregular verb, hab, which means to have, which has no equivalent in Hebrew, which has no auxiliary verbs, as opposed to Yiddish and English, since they're derived from German. They do have. And since the auxiliary verb is all that interests me here, I'll conjugate it for you and show you why it's irregular. There is ich hab, I have, and then du hast. The B sound is dropped. You have. And then there's hat. Again, B sound dropped. But in the plural, you say mir haben, ihr habent, and sie haben. Now, I'll show you how to use that for the past tense. Now, it's fair to warn you that many verbs that are very regular in the present tense become irregular in the past tense, and there's nothing for it except to memorize it. So let's do that. The past tense of gehen is ich hab gegangen, du hast gegangen, hat gegangen, sie hat gegangen. Let me do the Hebrew before I go on to the plural. Halachti, halachta, halacht, hu halach, hi halcha. Okay, now the plural. Wir haben gegangen, ihr habent gegangen, sie haben gegangen. Halachnu, halachtem, or halachten, and halchu. Eat, le'echol, essen, Ich hab gegessen. Du hast gegessen. Hat gegessen, sie hat gegessen. Achalti, achalta, achalt, achal, achla. Wir haben gegessen. Ihr habt gegessen. Sie haben gegessen. Achalnu, achaltem, or achalten, achalu. Laufen. Lorutz, to chase. Ich hab gelaufen. Du hast gelaufen. Hat gelaufen. Sie hat gelaufen. Ratzti, ratzta, ratzt. Wir haben gelaufen. Ihr habt gelaufen. Sie haben gelaufen. Halach. Ratznu. Ratztem or ratzten. Ratzu. Yogen, to chase. Here there's a further irregularity because the suffix is no longer an n sound, but a t sound. Ich hab gejagt. Du hast gejagt. Er hat gejagt. Sorry. Ich hab gejagt. Du hast gejagt. Er hat gejagt. Sie hat gejagt. Hu radafti, radafta, radaft. Radfa. Radaf, radfa. There we are. Plural. Wir haben gejagt. Haben gejagt. Sie haben gejagt. Radafnu, radaftem, radaften, radfu. And that was quite a mouthful already. But I am going to soldier on into prepositions because we're doing verbs exclusively right now. We'll need a few prepositions because prepositions can be separate from the verb or they can be a prefix either in the present, future, or past. So here we go. And also in the infinitive for that matter. In. In English it's in. Be. Ois. Out. Bachutz. Arrois. Out. More emphatic. Lachutz. If you want to tell somebody to get out of your house, you say, Geh arrois, get out. You wouldn't say Geh ois, but if you wanted to say, we went out, you'd say, Wir haben arrois gegangen. We would say, Wir haben ausgegangen. Because you're not as about it. Okay, next, oiben, which means above. It could mean above, like in the above mentioned. It could mean that which stands above us all. For example, God is referred to as Oibishter, the one who stands above. And Hebrew, Lamala. And then there's oif, which means on. In Hebrew, al. Arop, it means lamata. Also, it means very much. Get off of there. You see your kids up somewhere, you say, get up van dorten. Get off of that. In Hebrew, lamata. And then there is below, but not meaning to get below, but to that which is below something. Unten, lamata. Below לרדת למטה, אלא מה שנמצא למטה. Okay, and then there is ober, above, meal, like the Nazis would say. They are the Untermenschen, and the others are the Untermenschen. And then finally there is a riber, which means to go over something. There's a famous Hasidic song, Lechatchila riber. Perhaps I'll perform it sometime. It doesn't have any Yiddish words in it, but it means you go over your obstacles. Lechatchila riber. For another time. Anyway, I'll also give you a uniquely Yiddish expression, a kochleffel. That means a cooking spoon, but it also refers to a type of person. You see, a cooking spoon does not add anything to the flavor of the soup. It doesn't make it tastier. It doesn't make it more bitter. It does nothing except stir things up. And there are people who help nothing. They merely stir things up and make trouble. And they are called a kochleffel. B'ivrit. Yes sug b'nei adam shehem lo mosifim tam b'tavshil v'lo b'matzav כמו כף בישול. לא מוסיפים, לא מעדיפים את המצב, אלא מערים את הכל ועושים תומות, עושים בלגן. להם קוראים ביידיש a-kochleffel. For example, mein Schwieger is ein kochleffel. My mother-in-law is a cooking spoon. She just stirs things up. And now for the daily proverb. This one's short and sweet, but it follows a pattern of many proverbs in many languages. For example, in Greek, you have the men de proverbs. You would say, tois men doulois, Hernanke estinamos. Tois de anthropos euterois, hanamos estinanke. That means to slaves, necessity is law, but to free men, law is necessity. That was the pattern of the proverb I gave you last week also, and this one is similar, but it's short and sweet. Man tracht, Gott lacht. Man thinks or plans, and God laughs at his thoughts and his plans. And this is our lesson for today. Thank you very much for your time. I hope I was of help.